Hello, everyone. I'm trying to kind of get my lighting and everything together. I look a little hazy. So let me clear the camera lens. All right, there I am. That was weird. Welcome everyone to this edition of the video. Ugh. Anyway, I want to talk about what is the difference between how we view being perfect versus purpose. And I really just want to share one of my lifelong lessons. And as I'm talking, here comes my dog. There he is. That's Raz. Every time I come up here, he wants to know what's going on. Anyway, for those that are new to my channel, my name is Sherrell, and MindBody FAITH is a channel that focuses on living well inside and out while remaining rooted in your faith. And so today I want to talk about just what it means to live a life that's not focused on it being perfect and how you can still live a life of purpose. And I've done a video about perfectionism before. I'm a recovering type A personality, and I'm also a recovering perfectionist, meaning that I have a lean towards this mindset of wanting things to be perfect. If that is you too, just raise your hand. That's okay. Just shake your head with me. It's okay. Um, but as I have grown in my faith, as I've grown really as a person, I'm really beginning to embrace this mindset of focusing on purpose and what that means for the formal mindset that I had about things having to be perfect. We know logically, we know so many things logically in our minds, in our heads about the right way to think, or why would I think that way? That makes no sense. But the reason why it continues to come up is because a lot of these beliefs really are in our subconscious mind, whether it was the way that we were raised, whether it was our life experiences. Sometimes they come up, even when you try your best to make a shift. So for me, when it comes to the word perfect, I think about the many times that as a society, as a group of people, we use the word perfect. And I can remember using that term a lot in my life. And there's nothing wrong with the word. That's what I want us to kind of talk about today. And I'm open, if you have any questions about anything, the comments are open. I'm looking at the comments on my laptop. But when we think about perfect, it really comes out of this idea that is not really about humans being perfect, but it's about tasks and activities. So when you think about things such as math and these perfect equations, it makes sense. When you think about machinery and formulas, there's a beauty to it, and it's a beautiful perfection that comes about when these systems are working together. But this is the thing, as humans, we're not machines. We are flawed. And that's really what it means to be perfect. Perfect is without flaws. And we know that we are flawed human beings. So why would we put the emphasis and the burden on us of being perfect? It's because we engage in these systems and these activities that we characterize as perfect. And then we take that same mindset on to ourselves. So I can remember being maybe a teenager and just having this idea about life being perfect and what perfection meant. Perfection meant being married. Perfection meant having a good job, being financially stable, um, like the white picket fence and the family. That was my idea of what it meant to be perfect. And I wanted that. I wanted the perfect life because perfection to me equaled happiness. And if we are really honest with ourselves, the reason why we strive for perfection as people, not everybody, but I will say in my experience and just talking to other people, we strive for perfection because we believe is going to make us happy or is going to fulfill something within us. There's some type of void that, or some type of emptiness that perfection is going to somehow fill. And so one of the achievements that in my eyes was pure perfection, and that was me having the opportunity to go to grad school and graduating. My goal was by the time I turned 30. I don't know where this came from. I really don't. Sometimes we create these ideas in our head out of need. Sometimes we create these things to sometimes get approval from other people subconsciously. And so throughout my teen years and my 20s, all throughout the military, it was always in the back of my mind that I have to get my master's degree by the time I turned 30. So much so that even when I completed my undergrad degree, it was almost like, okay, now it's time to really, achieve this level of happiness by going to grad school. So I didn't even really celebrate just completing undergrad. And when I graduated from grad school, I was 31. So in my mind, I was happy, but it was not perfect because I was 1 year off. Anyway, I share that story to say this. Even though I was able to achieve that goal, and in my mind, I had created this goal as being the epitome of perfection, it did not bring happiness. It was simply a task that I had completed. And so I want to now talk a little bit about purpose and how we can really live a purposeful life and how that can be so much more fulfilling than chasing this idea of perfection. So after I completed once I got my master's degree, I did a lot of soul searching because I was really confused, you guys, that how did I spend half my life working towards this goal and it didn't make me happy? Like within a couple of days, I was already thinking about, okay, so what else am I going to do? Like I had to be in school, I had to be doing something. It was like I was trying to now fill that void with something else. But I did take some time and I got, into more self study through yoga, through meditation, and really slowing down and taking a look at, girl, like what's up with you? What's wrong? And I can say that I began to really, once I rededicated my life to Christ, I really began to challenge my idea of perfectionism and wanted to really learn a little bit more about purpose. And what I found, oh my gosh, it's so great when God reveals things, is that really taking that time and the energy and move that into a space where you are purposeful in the way that you live is such a more meaningful way to live. And let me tell you why. Because Raz, I tell you, he steals the show every time. You want to come sit right here? Come have a seat so the people you can just rest a little bit. I think they see your ears. um, so what was I saying? Okay, Raz got me off track. So anyway, when I began to focus more so on living a purposeful life, that is when light bulbs went off for me, because it wasn't something so simple that I can just have this linear plan for. I can do A, B, C, and D, and this is what will happen. And the beauty in purpose is that purpose doesn't necessarily have this straight plan. You do A, B, and then you're going to get C and D. That's not how God works. God is a mystery. And so you really do have to be present in order to live a purposeful life. And one of the things that I also learned about this idea of perfectionism is that when you are focusing on trying to make people perfect, when you're trying to do perfect things and you're trying to live a perfect life, you cannot be present. And that is something that I definitely saw upon reflections in my childhood. When you are always striving for perfection, you're mainly in this space of the future. You're always planning for something to be perfect, but being present in the here and now is what you sacrifice. And so that's kind of what I want to leave you all with. I'm checking down here to see if there are any comments, but one of the things that I want to offer you all, for those of you that you have this a similar story where you have really tried your best with all of your willpower, all of your might to make your life perfect, maybe because you had such an imperfect life in your mind's eye. Maybe you didn't have the best childhood and you just want better for yourself, and that's fine. But we don't have to necessarily succumb to the pressures of life being perfect. What we can say is that I didn't have the best childhood, I didn't have the best experiences growing up, but what I can live with, what is in my wheelhouse and what God is able to bring forth in my life is purpose. And purpose is rich, it's meaty, it can get dirty at times, but it's full of so much more meaning than trying to live a quote unquote perfect life. And so one of the things that I love to share, especially with women, some men too, is the beauty in this self-discovery and this mindset shift from perfection to purpose is to begin a meditation practice. You've heard me talk before about meditation being one of the spiritual disciplines, actually one of the lost disciplines. Prayer, solitude, simplicity, so many other things are also spiritual disciplines that are highlighted a lot more in our faith. But meditation is also a spiritual discipline that I'm hoping that more people will want to become more interested in and want to do more of it. But what I try to encourage you all, and I've been saying this forever, is to learn how to cultivate a meditation practice. And the reason why, not just because it's good for you and it really deepens your connection with God, but it's also a great space where you can just begin some self study. Transformation happens during the meditation process. And so that is the power that we don't really have within ourselves in order to move and change and shift our mindset, right? There's some people that claim they just kind of do it on their own, and I don't discount that. There's some people, maybe they have the willpower to do it, but I'm a child of God and I need all the grace, all the mercy, all the help that I can get. So in order for me to move from that space of perfectionism to purpose, I have to yield my heart and my mind to God. And because of his transformative power, I'm able to shift my mindset when I remember whose I am. And so meditation is something that I believe is a great way to begin the self study, to allow yourself to be open to the transformative process that God can use through the meditation process. And so this video, I hope, was helpful for you to first let you know that you're not alone. Two, what perfectionism is really about and how it robs you of the ability to be present for yourself, for your family, and for those in your community. And also how purpose is really something that you want to do some more research in and really think about, are you living a life that is full of purpose? Or is it diluted with these misconceptions about perfectionism? Because it's not attainable. There was only one perfect person, Jesus Christ. And so we are made in the image of God, and we strive to live our life in a way that, makes God smile. But we are flawed. We are human beings. And so with that, we take the time and we refocus our energy in living a life that is full of purpose, the divine purpose that God has placed in us. And for Black Friday, I am offering a prayer meditation prayer journal, and it's 30 days where you can begin to cultivate a prayer and meditation practice. Just, it doesn't take long, just 5 minutes a day, to begin to solidify that connection with God, but also setting aside time for some reflections and self study. Because as we become more aware and more self actualized, that's where the work truly begins to happen. There are so many people in this world that are just frustrated with their personality type and the way that they are, or I don't have enough faith. I love God, but I'm not happy. That's the thing, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There are going to be ups and downs, and we're going to face trials and tribulations because we live in this world and because of our faith and the positions that we take. But there are a lot of people that really experience not an ounce of happiness while living a life dedicated to God, and that should not be the case. And I believe that a lot of people are unhappy because they lack awareness, a way to really begin to move in their maturity in their faith, becoming more self actualized with who they are, knowing where your strengths lie, knowing where your weaknesses lie, and being able to be okay with that, marrying the two together and settling yourself with this is who I am. These are the gifts that God has given me, and I will move forward despite some of the insecurities and the weaknesses that I know are within my DNA, within my makeup, and still move forward with a level of contentment, with a level of happiness, right? So I hope that you will take a look and go to my website, mindbodyfaith.org. Check out the journal and some of the other Black Friday specials that I have just for you. All of the products that I offer are really designed to help support your faith, to support your health and well being, because I don't believe that God just wants us to be unhappy all the time. There should be a sense of joy as believers as we are here in this earth and meeting other people. It's not about putting on a facade or pretending like everything is okay. But what it's really all about is having a sense of joy, an unspeakable joy that others can't understand while you're still living in a life where reality is before you. But there's also a spiritual reality that gives you a sense of joy and a sense of peace all at the same time. And the reason why this is possible is because as human beings, we are complex. We can be going through and still have a sense of joy at the same time. We can be full of laughter and joy and still complex because God is still working on all of us. So I've said a whole lot. I don't want to make this video too much longer than it needs to be, but I'm always I've been uploading videos, but I just wanted to come on live, unfiltered, unedited. So you get all the ums and the mistakes and all of that because I'm a human being. I'm just like you. But I hope that this was helpful for anybody out there that may be just kind of dealing with, oh, my life is screwy. My life is crap. Why do I feel like this all the time? And first and foremost, I would always suggest if you're really going, through something, that you always seek out help, professional help through counseling, what have you. And counseling and your prayer life can work hand in hand with meditation. No one says that you have to just do one thing, but you can be made whole and you can be healed through a number of different modalities. So be free in that. Be free in that. So I hope that you guys have a wonderful Thanksgiving wherever you decide to do or wherever you decide to be. Seal this time together with Jude 1:2. May mercy, peace, and love be multiplied to you. God bless.